Okay, we started Krav Maga lessons, and my muscles hurt.
Right.
Here.
All right, we're doing Krav Maga here, out in LA. Mary Beth's kicking ass on this poor bag.
I was punching ass.
Poor bag. Poor bag doesn't have a chance. What would that bag ever do to you?
The bag?
Who is that bag that you're punching?
Exactly. Don't ask.
All right.
Combination of many, many people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's awesome. We're out here in LA. We're doing Krav Maga.
With masks on.
With masks on. You know how you're gonna do it, right?
Outside.
Whatever. Bye.
My butt hurts from kicking. My
Nice
butt
butt,
hurts
too.
from kicking. My feet hurt.
I like her butt.
And you had said something. You said, remember what you said?
What?
When you hit something, I would have said it's resistance training.
Oh.
But you said,
Well, yeah, you were just saying your muscles hurt, and I said, yeah. Well, I said that'll happen because when you're striking something, you're not used to doing that. Your muscles aren't used to actually making contact with something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about it being a transfer of energy because you're taking potential energy, which is built up in your body, and then when you hit, it becomes kinetic energy when you actually are moving, and then when the punch hits the target, you're transferring all that energy. Not all of it. The intent is to try to transfer as much as you can into the target so that it inflicts as much damage to your assailant or whatever, or the target, but some of that energy is pushed back into you. There's a repulsion type thing, and actually, if you
that's what you said.
yeah, so you
Repulsive.
yeah. So some of the energy is transferred back into your arms and your limbs and stuff like that. So you'll feel that your muscles will feel that they're not used to it, and they'll get stressed. And, micro tears in your muscles and things from that. So, and that's what causes lactic acid buildup and all that stuff. So anyway, so I gotta go with that. So yeah, that transfer of energy is what you're kind of feeling.
The transfer of energy.
Yeah, it's almost like let's see.
I want to make you look pretty.
Make me look pretty.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a lot. You got a lot to make me look pretty.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about how you look than how I look. I'm in my little hoodie.
Beautiful.
Keep me warm in the morning.
So yeah.
You were talking about the water, how it dissolves the salt that we had.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you were talking about last night about we made wontons last night, fried wontons. I've never had those before.
Homemade.
Yeah, homemade. I mean, really, truly, everything was really made from the dough, and it was so good.
The wrappers. I made the wrappers because I can't buy. I couldn't find gluten-free wrappers, so I decided to make them. So I found a recipe online, and we made them, which took an hour. About
So good.
So I'm making wonton wrappers
With Windex. This is
Not with
This is
Windex.
the secret ingredients to
With-
wonton wrappers. Windex.
I don't know what I'm making it with, but it's with gluten-free flours. I forgot the salt, so I don't know what it's gonna taste like.
I think it's gonna be fine. We'll just
And we're
swap it out of
gonna
it.
make the meat mixture. It's a tradition in my family because we're so Chinese, as you can tell.
You can tell by the hair.
That we always make wontons for Chinese New Year. And Chinese New Year was officially a couple of days ago. And so we're making these wrappers. And this one is just an edge. It's not quite square. I'm just randomly chopping them with this knife.
This is a very edgy process that we're doing
It's gonna
here.
be like a crafty one.
Yes, crafty, edgy.
But these are the
wontons.
little wonton wrappers. They're not as thin as you would get in the store because they're hard to do.
Yeah, especially with
They're
a
very
tapered
hard to
rolling
do.
pin.
Yeah, but it's gonna be fun and they're still gonna be yummy.
They're gonna be yummy.
I made homemade sweet and sour sauce.
Nice.
So we'll see how they're gonna end up later.
Right. Sounds good. All right.
I made homemade sweet and sour sauce, which was delicious, and then we made the stuffing filling inside with ground beef.
So good.
But you're up now.
Oh. Well, you were. Oh, we since we fried them, deep fried them. We're living with a chef right now, and he actually. I learned some things about deep frying, and while he was over the kettle with the heating the oil up, he was using a temperature gauge, because I was asking him, like, what temperature is the best to deep fry at and stuff like that. He's saying, well, so like for frozen goods, like fries and stuff like that, and chicken nuggets, like 350, he was saying. But for something like this, where there was raw meat that we had wrapped in the dough, you want it to cook slow enough so that it actually cooks through. Because if you cook it at too high a temperature, you'll burn the outside and it won't cook inside.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was kind of getting from it. So you cook at a lower temperature of the oil. So he was measuring the temperature of the oil, but then he made a comment about the patterns that were formed in the oil. And he said, oh yeah, this is one of the things I love about deep frying, about cooking. And so I went over there to look, and yeah, they're really cool. They were almost symmetrical diffraction patterns. And
what does that mean?
So what it means is I began to kind of hypothesize, and I think what was happening is that as the oil was heated, different parts of the oil are heated at different rates, and light travels differently through like the same substance if it's at a different temperature. It's called diffraction. It's similar. So light slows down in various materials. Like the speed of light is 3.8 times 10 to the 8th meters per second in a vacuum. But that's C. Well, 3 times 10 meters. That's yeah. It's an absolute. It's an absolute constant anyway in a vacuum.
You lost me.
So well, right.
We're
So
not vacuuming. We're cooking.
Right, in a vacuum, like space. Space is a vacuum. It means there's no. Anyway, so, but light travels at different rates through different materials. It can slow down, and based on how it slows down or speeds up, what happens is. Oh, I don't know. I'm just playing with fingers. So based on how light slows down in a different material.
This is light.
I guess this is light.
And this is the material.
I guess so. Yeah.
Not fabric.
Well, that's a different thing.
I know. So it's material.
Well, it would have to be something that it would pass through that I'm thinking like that we could see, like an oil or a liquid or a glass
so this is light.
Yeah.
And this is the oil because we're talking about cooking.
Right. So the light's passing through the oil. And it's passing through oil that's at different temperatures. So it's traveling. It'll travel at a different speed.
And this little piggy went to the market.
And this one stayed home. And this one, the roast beef one went all the way home. So
keep going.
All right.
I'm getting distracted.
I'm trying.
Keep going.
I'm trying to simplify it.
Light.
I tend
don't simplify.
I tend to overcomplicate things. So anyway, think of a prism. Okay, that's how a prism works. White light, passes through a prism, and it's a little different.
Makes pretty colors.
It travels different. Well, it's a little different because actually it's the same medium. But it's still slowing it down. But so it diffracts. It's called diffraction, where the light splits, and you can see the different colors. Diffraction, refraction.
So that's what's happening.
Diffracts or refracts? Maybe refraction. Yeah, I think it's refraction. Called refraction. So anyway, that was happening in the oil. You were having the light show these patterns because it was traveling at different speeds and changing direction. You'd see these patterns in the oil. Based on the temperature as the oil was heating up. As the oil temperature became consistent throughout, then the patterns went away because all the oil was heated uniformly, so light was passing through
like
it.
Like a cop uniform?
Like a who? A what?
Like a cop uniform?
A cop uniform?
You said uniformly.
Oh, no.
I think close. See, you said material, I said fabric. You said uniformly.
Right.
I said
No,
uniform.
uniformly as in consistently.
I know.
You're being a pain in the butt.
It's too much brain power for me in the morning.
Oh, sorry.
We haven't even had our tea yet.
No, we haven't. So anyway,
this is how your brain works in the morning when I'm laying next to
you
you.
asked me a question. Oh, and then we could. Oh no. We were. Oh, I wanted to tell her the joke though.
Okay. Yes.
So I get into a joke, which is really funny. It's funny. I have a. All right. So I'll tell you the joke. So if you're not part of it's kind of a statement. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the. Everybody says you're part of the problem. No, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the precipitate. It's a chemistry joke. Right. So I had to explain it to her.
So if you're not part of the problem, you're part of the rain that's falling down.
Part of the rain.
Participation.
Precipitation.
Isn't that rain?
Yeah,
Water
it is.
that comes down.
It is, yeah.
So if you're not part of the
Actually,
problem,
yeah.
you're part of the rain.
That's actually a really good. Yeah.
You're part of the storm.
Part of the storm.
Ooh.
So in a solution, you have two different components that make a solution. You have something called a solvent, which is the stuff that dissolves the solute. And then sometimes you can't get enough solute into the solvent. It falls out. That's called the precipitate. So like if you think of iced tea, and you're going to dissolve your sugar in iced tea, you put a lot of, you really like it sweet like I do, like I like my wine. I add sugar to my wine. If you add lots of sugar to your iced tea, let's say wine. If you add, let's just make it simple. We'll just do water because it's
iced tea is good.
Yeah, so that's a lot of iced tea. So, but if you put lots of sugar in it, only so much goes in, right?
Hardly any goes in. It sits at the bottom.
Right. That's your precipitate.
And you have to keep stirring.
Right, and it won't go into solution.
But why?
Because
it's not because there's not enough. If there's too much sugar, it means it's. I think it's because the iced tea is ice. I mean, it's cold.
Well, it has to do with the temperature, yeah. So if you were to heat up the iced tea, more solute would go into solution, yes. But you ruined my joke.
I ruined it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. How did I ruin it?
Because I was explaining my joke. Okay. So before we get to that, so the basis of the joke is that I know if you explain a joke, it's not funny, right? But so the basis of the joke is that you have the three components. You have the solvent, which dissolves the solute, and the solute, which goes into the solvent. But if you can't get enough solute into the solvent, it drops into as precipitate. So, ergo, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the precipitate. Isn't that funny? I thought it was funny. I actually have a sweatshirt that I got in college that says that. I still have it. I couldn't get rid of it. No. It's really funny. I've got another one too, which it's a visual one. I'd have to show you. I can't explain it. It's funny. It's all right. It's positive charge attracts negative charge, right? You say opposites attract. That's where they get the opposites attract thing, which is true. And
is that the magnets?
Yes, essentially magnets. So, it has a picture of like a classroom, and the professor is standing up there lecturing, and
is that a picture of a classroom on your T-shirt?
Yeah, just a picture of a classroom.
Wow, that's
and there's a teacher, and there's all male students. Just happen to be all male students, and they're all positively charged. They have little positive charges. They're all positive ions.
There's a little plus on all
their heads. Yeah, a little plus on all their heads. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay.
And then they're on the window outside. You can see the window. They're all females, all girls looking in, and they are all negatively charged.
It should be different. We should be the positive ones.
Okay. Anyways, maybe it is. I don't know. But they're all negatively charged, and all the guys are actually being the positive charge is actually being pulled toward the negative charge, and like you know they're holding onto their desk kind of thing, and the professor makes something like the comment like, so what's so attractive out there to you guys, or something like that. It's kind of funny.
But wouldn't he then be pulled to the outside?
No,
too?
He was neutral.
Why? He's a man.
Because he has a positive and negative charge. I don't know. Because he's old. I don't know.
See, it didn't make sense.
What? Well, you gotta see it. It's funny.
But logically, he would be a plus also.
Huh? Yeah, but maybe he was. I don't know.
Maybe he wasn't.
Maybe he was farther. Well,
Maybe
okay, he was
gay.
farther away from.
Maybe he was gay.
Maybe he was a gay positive charge.
He was really a negative charge, and you didn't want the boys to go to the window.
I don't know. I don't remember what charge was on him. He might have been in a covalent bond.
What's that?
That's something. He might not have been an ion.
Covalent bond.
Well, yeah, there are different ways you can bond atoms
There are
together.
different ways we could bond.
Yes, there are.
And you like to bond.
You're so funny. Okay, anyway, so that's way too long.
But wait, let's recap. We talked about
Our funny jokes.
you had some funny jokes, some funny t-shirt jokes.
Mm-hmm.
How solvent dissolves into solvent and doesn't make participant.
Precipitate. That's pretty close. Yeah.
And how light goes through oil and makes really cool, like designs on the bottom,
Right.
kind of like stained glass.
Yeah, light passes through substances different ways at different temperatures.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And then
Yep.
there was something we talked about at
I
the
should take
beginning.
a picture.
I don't remember. We could do it again.
And you hitting things hurts your body.
Oh yeah.
Even though it hurts them more. That's the intent anyway.
It hurts them because it's a shock to them, right?
You're transferring your
A little petite
energy.
girl like me.
It has absolutely nothing to do with
Kicking
it
the
at
shit out
all.
of
No,
somebody.
size has nothing to do. Well, in some things
That's
it
what I
does.
mean. That's
But in this case, it doesn't when you're in self-defense combat.
but that's what
It's
I mean.
speed. Actually, it's not even speed. It's acceleration. This equation, the energy is equal to mass times mass
Is that
mv squared. So mass times
E.
acceleration. So it's the velocity squared or the acceleration. That's the huge component to that equation. That gives you the energy. 1/2 mv squared is kinetic energy. And so when it's not so much, so there's a mass component to hitting somebody or to hitting somebody. But the bigger component is acceleration. So it's not the speed, but it's the speed at which the speed changes. So it's the acceleration is what delivers that.
That made the camera go all crazy.
Sorry, it's the acceleration that delivers the energy into your opponent. So the quicker I can't say quicker, let's just say quicker. It's easier because people understand that. The quicker you can be and deliver a punch or some type of strike or something,
How powerful he is.
then that's what's going to deliver the energy. It's not mass
That's what I
so
was
much.
saying.
So that's why a
in
little
simple
person,
way.
if they're efficient, can deliver lots of energy to that
And
target.
it would be shocking to the target because
yeah.
they wouldn't expect it from a little
That
person
too.
like me.
Yeah, the psychological component as well.
That's
Yeah.
my little simple
Right.
phrase.
Well, that happened the other night too. That was a psychological thing too. Totally.
You were littler than that guy.
Yeah, he probably didn't expect me to back kick him.
He protected me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm just looked like this, this feeble old man.
Don't look at people.
Well, this guy was kind
These
of
muscles
big.
he's got.
This guy was kind of big. Yeah. So yeah.
Muscles.
So it was a psychological game anyway. Yeah. We recap enough?
Yes.
Okay. It's long, 18 minutes. Bye.